Guys, you said you were going to lock in for 2026. You said this was the year that was going to be different to all the others. All those years we set the New Year's resolutions and nothing happened. And then you gave up, and then you got to the next year, and then you set them again. This time was different though. This year was going to be different to all of the others. You were absolutely certain of it. But now you find yourself in July, over halfway through 2026, in the exact same position. Same physique, same body fat, same fitness level, same mindset, same bad habits, same vices, same limiting beliefs, same doubts. Nothing has changed. The frustration isn't just over the wasted 6 months. The frustration is the fact that this cycle has happened again. You feel tired of yourself. I know this all too well. This was me for so many years. I was sick to fucking death of myself. I really was. It wasn't hating myself for no reason. It was just being tired of my own shit. Saying I was going to change and then never changing. And that's a cycle that must be broke. Your heart and your mind and your intention is in the correct place. You're at least thinking about it. You at least want to make the change. You're at least watching these videos on YouTube and consuming content that is hopefully going to unlock something and call you to action, right? The problem is, though, with that, it's all about the action side. And you can procrastinate for fucking ages watching these videos and saying you're going to lock in and imagining you're going to lock in and telling people you're going to lock in. This is what I did. It's mental masturbation over the idea rather than the thing itself. You may not have even realized this. Procrastination for you guys, because this is what it was like for me. I had to raise my level of awareness to even spot this. Procrastination for you is hard to spot. For a lot of people, what it means is, like, for these fat, lazy guys that, you know, they're not taking this serious whatsoever, they're sat on their phone at home on the sofa coming up with excuses to not go to the gym. You're going to the gym. You're eating clean. You're doing the things on paper that you need to do, right? This is where the illusion and the trap lies, because you're convinced you're actually doing what you need to do. You're in the process. You're doing the work. Like, it's there every single day. You are doing the things. But the problem is you're not doing the things to the level required. You're not doing it to the standard required to get any result other than the one you've got now, which is no result, no change. You maybe dropped a few pounds of body fat. You've maybe added a couple of kilos to your bench press, or, you know, whatever. I'm not saying there's nothing there, but there's nothing there. And you've got to be very careful in this position to not fall victim to a victim mindset. When you're convinced and totally convinced in your head, you live in this echo chamber without anyone else's, you know, kind of opinions. When you're convinced you're doing everything that you possibly could, if you do that every year and you're not seeing any change, at some point you are going to start blaming other things. You're going to start blaming genetics. You're going to start blaming your circumstance. You're going to start blaming your gym because it doesn't have the equipment that you've seen this guy on Instagram training with, and that's the reason why. And all of this bullshit that's only going to keep you in this trap for even longer. This is habitual behavior. This is what you've got to understand. This cycle repeating, you failing to lock in for this first half of 2026 to the level that you know you should have been, or you expected to, is built on a premise, and that premise is the fact you weren't locked in entering 2026 anyway. So yes, the video is framed in terms of this 6 months has gone in this year, and I'm going to give you the exact blueprint how we're going to turn it around and make it the most successful and productive year that you've ever had in life, never mind just with your physique. But 6 months is the least of your worries. This has been going on for a number of years now, and, you know, cast your mind forward in the future. What happens later down the line? What happens if you don't break this now? What happens if you don't apply what I'm about to speak about in this video and you just carry on? Is this going to go on for years? It can't go on for years. You know, that is one thing that we have to make sure we don't fucking do. Something has to change off the back of this video. And basically, to summarize, you have to stop flirting with the idea of locking in. You have to get very serious. So I'm going to give you the full blueprint. I'm going to give you the phases. I'm going to tell you everything you need to do in this 6 months remaining. We've got about 25 weeks to turn 2026 around and get in top 1% shape. But first, we've got two things to do. We have to shift a limiting belief, and then we've got to look at the actual problem of why this time was wasted in the first place. So first of all, top 1% physique, top 1% shape. That sounds incredibly hard, and for you guys that have been going around in circles, there's probably a lot of doubt with that. You probably clicked on this video thinking, oh, it's a bit of a dream. This is absolutely fucking realistic because the bar is so incredibly low in society. You live, as I do, in an echo chamber in the fitness world. All the people I follow on Instagram are fitness guys, same on YouTube. All the people I speak to on the same frequency as me, we're all grafting. So my world, the way I see the world, is all of these guys that are involved in fitness are in great shape and disciplined and taking care of themselves. The reality is 99% of the world are not in great shape. So getting into top 1% shape sounds like you're going to be Mr. Olympia. That is not the case at all. You know, if you get to 10% body fat, which is easily doable in 12 to 16 weeks, 20 weeks at a push if you've got a little bit more body fat, you are top 1%. So you've got this 1% of society that are in that kind of shape. 95% of society are overweight, fat, lazy, undisciplined, unstructured, just not taking life seriously whatsoever. The remaining 4% of society is where you fall. Willing to do the work, but unsure how to do it, right? You're toying with the idea, you're watching these videos, you're planning things, you're thinking about your physique, you're changing your training split, you're trying new exercises, you're in the arena, right? But you're kind of on the sides because you don't have a vehicle right in front of you. I'm going to give you that vehicle today, okay? So the first thing is to understand that you can and will get into top 1% shape. If you don't believe that, click off the video now. If you don't accept that to be true, go. There's no point in wasting any more fucking time watching this video. Only the guys that truly believe that, because it's realistic, should remain and watch the rest of this video. Now, how did this even happen? How are you in a position where 6 months has just seemed to have disappeared? 6 months is a long time. It's not a long time, it flies fast, but it's also a very long time. You could have completely transformed your physique since January 1st. You could have completely transformed your life since January 1st. But instead you're in the same body, same bad habits, same rut. Everything looks the exact same. So it's a long time to waste. It's a very long time to waste, and you've missed an opportunity. And I'm not saying that to rub it in. This is where the problem lies, right? How has 6 months gone and you've not realised that you've not done what you need to do? You've not been operating at the level that you need to do because you had 180 days, you had 180 opportunities to spot this and change something. The real reason why this has happened and you magically get to July and you're thinking, where's this time gone? Is because you never knew what the right path was in the first place. You didn't have awareness of the things that you should be doing to then have the contrast for the alarm bells and the red flags to go off when you weren't doing what you were meant to be doing, when you were off course, when you were on the wrong path. If you were on the right path, you would know what the wrong behaviors were. I know that sounds very obvious, but just think about it, right? All of this work has just been aimless. It's been generic. You've been hitting the gym, yes. You've been following a push-pull legs or a push-pull lower upper or a upper lower, whatever you've been doing. But that's just recycled and regurgitated from social media. It's not specifically crafted for you. Nutrition, what's been happening with that, right? I can tell you from experience, you've probably been tracking protein. You maybe have a loose idea of what calories are, but there's certainly no optimization of macronutrients. There's certainly no timing of carbs for training and recovery and all of these nuanced things that should have been there, right? And the difference between you and all these guys that actually capitalized, and every single day they just compounded into where they are now, and they're in a completely different physique. Their mindset has leveled up tenfold. Their standards have raised, is what they've been doing with their time. You've both been busy. That guy, that version of you, because there is a version of you that exists, and we can uncover him for these next, this next 6-month sprint. He's been productive. You've both been busy. He's been productive. That's a huge difference, and you have to understand this, right? Because every single day, these guys woke up with a clear plan of attack in their mind. They had a full to-do list that was detailed. They understood exactly what they needed to do. They had a goal in their mind. They had a mission. They had a vision that they were actually excited about. They had a reason to go to the gym, a deeper reason than just I need to tick it off. Something deeper within them that they're trying to achieve, something they're trying to prove. They had a reason not to be scrolling. They had a reason not to watch 2 hours of Netflix every single night. These guys were just operating on a different level. So on paper, if we wrote out what you did and what they did, all right, yeah, it looks similar. But look at your results and look at their results. It's very different, right? And that is exactly where I'm going to start. I'm going to run you through the whole blueprint. But first, we have to look at the whole thing in its entirety, right? If we look at the problem and then we work back and we kind of reverse engineer from the problem to find the solution, it's going to make more sense in your guys' heads. So essentially, to summarize, you need to become efficient with time. You need to become productive, not busy. You're already busy. You need to fine-tune all of those inputs and turn busy into productive. Okay? That's the only way that we compound the days and the workouts and the habits and the nutrition and everything over the next 180 days and get you to where you should be by December 31st, rolling into 2027 with immense amounts of momentum and confidence, right? So, in order to do that, to be efficient with time, the first thing we need to be very clear on the goal. This is a vision. Now, I'm going to dive into these in a second, so I'll just cover them now. From the goal, we can then extrapolate the precise inputs, not just going to the gym. What exactly do you need to be doing? What is the exercise selection? What's the exercise order? What is the approach with set and rep volume? All of these specific things, right? Not just the gym, the same with macros and nutrition, the same with the daily habits, the same with what we're trying to avoid, the vices. That's our strategy. Then we actually need to be efficient with time. A lot of people actually struggle to manage time. This is basic shit. This is sloppy. If you can't manage time as a fully grown adult, you need to give your head a shake. And I'm not here to shame you, but it's a wake-up call that you fucking need. You have to get serious about your life. If you're a fully grown adult male and you can't manage your time, if you can't get all the things done in the day that you need to get done, you need to give your head a wobble. Because there are school children that can do that. I could do that in school. So you've got to get organized, and we've got to set your day up for efficiency and give you a bulletproof daily routine. The fourth one, this is very important. And I'm going to dive into these in more detail as we go through. Course correction, awareness. Okay, I'm going to give you the path, which is what you've been missing in the first 6 months. If you had the path, you then have to make sure you're sticking to it. Okay, think of the path as like a success blueprint. If you follow it, it's going to fucking work. So I'm going to give you the path. You then have to stick to it. Now, no human on earth is perfect. Without awareness, without reflection, without tracking the inputs, tracking data, you might veer off course. Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm not perfect. I don't hit all of my inputs perfectly over a month. There's days where I'm slack. Course correction allows me to be aware of it first of all, but then change what I'm doing the next day to get me back on the path. And that is a very important one. You can't overlook that. Now, I know some of you want to jump in this video and just go straight to the actual 6-month blueprint, how we're going to set up the phases. Don't do that, right? You've got to understand this. This is what you actually need, okay? Yes, you want the 6-month blueprint, but you need this other stuff. First thing, creating a goal. You have to be passionate about the goal that you're pursuing. It can't just be, I want to get a little bit leaner. I want to see my abs. It needs weight. It needs gravity, right? You've got to wake up and you need a burning desire to go and do these, just fucking attack these inputs that are on the your to-do list, right? Or the plan of attack for the day. So we have to create an exciting vision. Now, what we do, we look at the starting position. We look at the physique is the first thing. We look at character. We look at identity. We look at life. Who are you as an individual? What would you want to change? What are you struggling with in life right now? Is it direction? Is it finance? Is it a relationship? What's the gap? What do you want all of those things to be? And what are they currently? And then we have to basically decide the inputs that are going to get us from where you are to where you want to be. The deeper you can go on the physique, not just less body fat. What body fat percentage? Put a fucking progress picture into AI. Say, make me 8% body fat. Give me 5 pounds more muscle. Shit like that. You know, have a clear vision and image in your mind of why you're actually doing all this fucking work in the first place. You want more muscle. Where do you want the muscle? What kind of physiques do you like to look at? Who are these guys on Instagram? Is it a guy, you know, with a crazy V-taper? With a crazy V-taper? Is it a guy with a fucking 8-pack? Is it a guy with massive arms? What kind of physique do you want? You have to be excited about this. Do you want a sharp jawline? All these things are very important, right? You create depth. You create gravity to the goal. Character and identity. What is maybe a weakness? What's an inadequacy? What is an insecurity of yours right now that you maybe don't admit to anybody else? For me, when I was coming out of my rock bottom position, when I was smashing ketamine 4 times a week, and I looked like fucking shit. I looked like a skinny 20-year-old who had no direction in his life. The biggest problem in my life at that time, even though I had fucking loads, I had anxiety, I had drugs, I had financial problems, I had so much, was confidence, and it was anxiety. And I would have traded everything I had to just be a confident person. That, when I got like really clear on that, when I got annoyed and pissed off and frustrated that people used to laugh at how I spoke and that I'd fumble my words, that was rocket fuel. There was nothing fucking stopping me, and I didn't have the perfect plan. But these are the foundations for actually going out and pursuing, right? I wanted to be looked at and respected by other men. I wanted to be looked at as a guy that had discipline. Create your own life. Are you unhappy with your financial situation? Do you want to become more financially secure? Do you want more cash flow? Do you want to buy more things that you like? Do you want a new job? Do you want to pursue a new career? Do you want to start an online business? Do you want to move away from 9 to 5? What are these things that are actually driving you forwards, right? Relationships, again. All of this ties into the vision, and it creates, that's why I use the word vision. I mean, it is a vision. That's exactly what it is. It's a picture in your mind, right, of who I could be, what I could look like, and what my life could be like. And you can start to fantasize. You can start to like try and experience what that would feel like if you had that body, if you were that kind of guy, if you had that girl, or you had that new job and you were making moves in your life. How would you feel? How would you feel waking up tomorrow? How would you go to bed? You can start to try and put yourself in the shoes of that future version of you, and that creates this kind of obsession around it. This is all before we've even spoken about the path, by the way, right? These are the foundations. So rather than saying, I need a 6-pack and I want to run a 5K, do that, but do this. Get clear on all of that. Once we've done that, from there we can create the daily inputs to take you from where you are to where you need to be. Now, I don't know who you are. I don't know your name. I don't know your age. I don't know how much body fat you've got. I don't know your goal. I don't know anything about you. You're an unknown YouTube viewer, and I'm very happy you're here, right? But I don't know fuck all about you. I cannot sit here and tell you the exact inputs that you need. But what I can do is give you the minimum requirements that you're going to need moving forward for the next 6 months. Now, if you want to build a physique, you must have 3 gym sessions per week minimum. Now, my clients don't do more than 4 because most of them, the majority, 90%, are following a more hybrid training plan with running, with high rocks, with Metcon style workouts. And when you're balancing that much stress and fatigue, you don't want more than 4, but you don't need more than 4. I built my physique from 72 kg piss wet through, and bearing in mind I'm 6'4", 72 kg is skinny as fuck, all the way up to now 98.2 I weighed in this morning, and I'm pretty lean. Over those 4 or 5 years, 3 times a week was my training frequency. Now, there's been times I've moved to 4 and trialed 5, but 3 is enough. Push, pull, legs, upper, lower, upper. I wouldn't do full body. I've never liked full body. It takes too long to warm up. There's occasions where if somebody's doing 2 sessions a week because they're prepping for an ultra marathon, a marathon, an Ironman, whatever, we'll do 2 a week. That's just to tick over and keep the muscular system active, right? But I would do push, pull, lower, or I would do upper, lower, upper. If you're doing 3 a week. If you're doing 4, push, pull, lower, upper, push, pull, lower, shoulders, arms. That's what I'm running right now. I'm really enjoying it. Absolutely fucking love this split. It's one of my favourite splits. Upper, lower if you want the lower body development. Cardio, 2 a week, minimum. Now, I can't really give you much more than this. It depends on what the goal is. If it's purely physique and you just want to look the best you can, we're going to go for a low intensity cardio like Stairmaster incline walk, sitting on a bike, stationary bike. We're probably going to stay away from running. We're probably not going to do much HIIT work until food is back up. If it's a performance phase, if we're really trying to be hybrid, if we're trying to push both the physique and performance, cardio can go up to 3, sometimes 4 times a week. There's going to be a mix of aerobic work, which is going to be the lower intensity for longer, but there's also going to be some HIIT work in there as well. There's going to be intervals, there's going to be speed workouts, track workouts, all sorts of stuff, right? Again, I can't really give you more than this, guys. I can just tell you the minimum that you're going to need to do. Steps, minimum 10,000, regardless of training phase, minimum 10,000 steps on a daily basis, right? I will push to 12, sometimes even 15, depending on what's happening. Macros have to be optimized for phase, okay? We're going to go through the phases in a second. And then daily habits to build daily momentum and to compound, really, yes, the physique side, more so the character and identity, which we looked at on the last slide. That's really what the habits are doing. It's building you into the man. These habits are very, very important. Now, I've spoken about this in many videos in the past. I have 7 habits that I follow on a daily basis. All my clients follow them, prescribe them to every single client. They're an absolute game changer. They will keep you building sickening momentum every single day, and they just happen in the background. You don't even really notice until you get like a month in, and you just feel this shift. If you want the full breakdown of those habits so you can follow them in the next 6 months, guys, I'll put a WhatsApp link in the description, and I'll put a short link, so it'll just say habits. If you just click send, I'll send you a video through that I give to my clients, and it's just going through all of those 7 habits. Those are the daily inputs. Now, I understand, guys, that it's not specific to you. I just can't give it you, right? I cannot give that to you right now. Those are the minimum requirements that you're going to need. The 6-month phasing. So, as discussed, we have 25 weeks. This video is coming out a little bit late. I should have been ahead of the curve. It was an idea that I had a couple of days ago. So I should have got it out on the 1st of July. It's the 7th of July now. So we have 25 weeks, okay? This is exactly what we're going to do. Now, the timing of these, the deficit, the reverse, the performance. They can swing, they can change, but this is, as a general rule of thumb, this is what I would be doing. The first 2 weeks, we go into a priming phase. The whole idea with the priming phase is to find a stable starting position, to set a baseline. What happens with a lot of guys is when they're training sporadic, when they don't have a set program at the gym, and they're doing different exercises every time they turn up, and they're not tracking lifts. This week they do, half of the weight they did last week because they're trying to do more reps, and then they're changing the whole exercise selection, and then they're only tracking protein and carbs and fats, are doing this every single day. There isn't any stability to actually know what the next move is. So we have to find some kind of metabolic stability. So we would sit you at maintenance calories, we'd get a training program lined up, we'd get an expenditure protocol lined up, right? We get your routine on lock, consume the same food every day, the same macros being hit, track data. From that point, we can then see what we would do moving into phase 2. Phase 2 is the deficit. This is where we're going to strip all of the unwanted body fat, get you in a calorie deficit, get you a calorie burning fucking machine. Well, said that wrong. We're not going to get you a calorie burning machine. We're going to turn you into a calorie burning machine, right? Manipulating macros to support performance while food is dropping down low. Ideally getting to around 10% body fat. And again, if you're carrying more body fat, that 12 weeks is probably going to look more like 16, maybe even 20. But for most people, if you go pretty aggressive, 12 weeks is enough to get down to 10%. From that point then, we go into the reverse. This is very important. The reintroduction of carbs and filling back up or refilling the glycogen stores, performance improving, hunger goes away. Pumps are fucking insane. This is where your physique will look its best when we refill. Recovery is optimized again from higher carbohydrates. That can be anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. 5 is a happy medium there. And then from that point, once we've done that legwork, we can then push into the performance phase. Small surplus. I prefer 200 to 300, 350 calories in a surplus phase. What you hear is 300 to 500. I don't like that. I've done a dirty bulk before, going up to like 109 kilos. I looked like a bag of shit. I genuinely looked terrible. I was eating like 5,000 calories a day. And this was when I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing, clearly. I am not an advocate of even like a 500 calorie surplus. I'd much prefer like a 200 to 300. Slight bit of body fat is going to be gained, but performance is just off the fucking charts here now, guys. Now, whether you want to be completely biased over towards just physique, or it's more of a hybrid approach, you want to push like the running, for example, both of these fly at this point. That is exactly how the 6-month phasing is going to work, guys. Now, the daily setup for productivity and managing your time correctly. First of all, the mindset required, okay? If you have a goal that you're deeply passionate about, if you have the 6-month phase-in locked in, if you know what the inputs are and you know they're going to work, you're absolutely confident these inputs are going to work, you wake up a different man every single day because you have a to-do list of things. You have all of these inputs. You have the personal, you have the fitness, you have the work or the business stuff, right? And you know, if you tick these off today and you do it again and again and again, all this week, all next month, all fucking 6 months, by December 31st, you will be exactly where you imagined yourself to be, right? That puts you in this different lane. It gets you an input-driven mindset where you wake up and you just fucking attack the boxes. And that's what my mornings are, right? Anyone who follows me on Instagram, you will see me in the morning just getting up and I'm fucking straight on it and I'm blocking out the world and I'm just on it because I just want to stack wins and build momentum, right? That my mindset as soon as I wake up is fuck everything else. Where is my mind at? What are my thoughts saying? Where's my where's my brain pulling me today? Getting straight into the boxes and just fucking stacking wins. Going and hitting the gym, getting the first meal in, doing my morning process, all these things, and then it just sets me up for the day. This is how I would set up the day for you if you've got a 9 to 5 or if you're a business owner I would still have it this way. I've played around as a guy who can control his schedule with training at different times of the day. I've recently just finished a block where I was training at 9:30 in the morning, just after rush hour, getting a morning work block done. I've now reverted back to 6 a.m. training. It's just the best. It puts you just in the right frame of mind. It's just an early win, and then you go into the day energized. It is the best. So this would be the protocol for anybody, in my opinion. If you need to change it, you can change it, okay? 5 to 9, 9 to 5, 5 to 7. There's 7 to 9 as well. That's downtime, so we won't look at that. 5 to 9. 5 a.m. wake up. Get up early, buy yourself some time, right? Go through a morning process. Whatever that means for you. For me, that is writing, it's journaling, it's reading. Hydrate, supplements, hit the gym, get some expenditure done. Whatever the correct input is for you. Steps, cardio. Tick off some habits. Get some early wins stacked. Then you're going into the workday energized. You've trained. You've done one of the most important levers in building your physique. You've probably already got a meal in. Your macros are already on point, right? You've already done your morning process. You're feeling good. The habit list is almost ticked off. I can get 4 out of 7 done in a morning. And that feels like a huge win. Then you go into the workday, which we'll call 9 to 5. After work, straight into the remaining inputs. Whatever expenditure, the steps, the cardio, whatever you've got to do, get straight on it. It's going to have to be done. Don't leave it till 8 o'clock. Just get straight fucking on it. Tick that shit off. Get your habits done. Prep for tomorrow. Now, I've said 5 to 7 there. If you're quick about it, if you're organised, that could be 5 to half 5. That could be 5 to 6 p.m. And then you've got all the time in the evening. Prepping for tomorrow. What do you need to do? Pack a bag. Are you going to the gym early? Have you got meals to prep? You've got to write your to-do list. Earn your downtime, right? Once you've done everything you need to do, you can now have real downtime. Not fake downtime. Not sat with Netflix on whilst your phone's this far from your fucking face, scrolling, doing nothing, right? Real downtime. Go and do something. Maybe you've got a girlfriend at home. Go and do something with her. Go out. Go on a walk. Summer here in the UK. It's light till 10 o'clock, right? Go somewhere nice. Do something. Connect. Talk to each other. Listen to music. Don't just sit there and fucking brain rot, right? No scrolling, no screens. You can watch a bit of TV, right? But asleep by 10 p.m. latest. And then you can get up at 5 o'clock having 7 hours of sleep, which is more than enough. And here is what I was alluding to in the beginning with course correction and awareness. This is one of the FP7 habits. Okay, reflection. This is absolutely crucial. The fastest way to get from where you are now to where you want to go is a straight line. Okay, where you are is A, and where you want to be is B. The fastest way to get from A, which is down here, to B is a straight line. Now, what happens? This is the path you should take. That is you doing the inputs required every single day. That is the fastest way to go from where you are to where you want to be. What happens is every single day, the distractions creep in. You're not as disciplined as you should be. You don't track all your data. Maybe you didn't hit the gym today. Maybe you didn't track your macros. You start veering off course. Now, if you don't reflect, if we don't have this process, which I'll explain in a second, by the time 6 months is up, you're going to be all the way over here. And you're going to come back to this video and you're going to think, fuck, I'm going to have to apply all this again for the first 6 months of 2027. We don't want to do that, right? I'm not perfect. I will veer off. This habit right here glues me back to the process the next day. So you don't have to be perfect. Nobody's asking you to be perfect. We just have to get back on course. Now, you've got to track inputs. You need a daily to-do list. That is from a work, a fitness, a personal standpoint. These are my FP7 habits right here. All my work things, I have run here. This was today's session was a run. All of my things written down on here. It has to be visual. You take them off as you go through the day. Anything you didn't get done, you cross out. At the end of the day, you reflect on what was done. Why didn't that thing right there get done? It was out of my control. I did not have time. This thing came up. Okay, cool. Could you have done anything about it? No. Okay, well, that's life. I didn't get this thing done because I was sat on my phone and I've checked my screen time and I had 3 hours of screen time, so I missed the gym because I was just a lazy fuck. Right, well, sort your fucking self out and get it done tomorrow. Right? How did I perform? Did I tick the boxes? What does my data say? If you're in a deficit and your scale weight's going up, red flags. You need to fucking do something differently, right? You don't leave it 2 months, then go, oh, how have I put on all this body fat? You need to address it immediately, and this is what this does, right? You can't reflect if you don't track the inputs. Tracking the inputs without reflecting on them is also pointless, pretty much. So, if you underperformed, troubleshoot, correct the next day. By December 31st, guys, you will be in one of two positions. Okay? The first, option A, nothing changes from this point out. The physique, the mindset, the limiting beliefs, the bad habits, the vices, the lack of confidence that you turned up to 2026 with, you will leave 2026 with. There will be more guilt, there will be more shame, there will be more embarrassment from looking at the man in the mirror. Right? Because you know, again, you've fallen short. And then you've got to start from scratch in 2027. Spoiler alert, you're not starting from scratch because your belief is going to be even lower now because another 365 days is wasted. That's going to be even harder for you to get the ball rolling in 2027. You're going to believe in yourself less. You've got more evidence that you don't stick to hard things. This is a cycle you have to break, right? The other option is you get fucking serious. You get serious for once. You stop flirting with this idea of locking in and you actually fucking do it. You actually do it. The physique, the mindset, the habits, the standards, the financial position, the direction in life, the relationship, seeing a new level that you've never experienced before. Nobody's seen it. That can happen in 6 months. Understand, right? 6 months is a lot of time to waste, but it's a lot of time where you can genuinely build and change your life if you truly get serious. You can feel an immense amount of pride. You can feel momentum. You can feel in control of your life, and you move into 2027 in that position, about to have the best year that you've had yet because you've just had the best 6 month period that you've ever had. Those are your options. You're at a fork in the road here, guys, right? You're in this cycle. You're going around in circles. It's one or the other. Choosing not to choose is a choice. If you watch this video, which a lot of people do, and I used to do this back in the day, and you go, well, I'll probably do nothing. That's a choice. Those are the two options. I want you to look at them and I want you to choose. What is your choice? Either way, guys, go and crush these remaining 180 days. It's slightly less, it's 25 weeks. Go and fucking kill these remaining 6 months, right? This can be completely transformative in your life. This could be the best 6 months that you've ever had on earth. Genuinely. And I'm not even remotely joking with that, right? I have come from an incredibly dark position in my life with a lot of problems, and the leaps that I've made in progress have blown my own mind. From my own work, from my own determination. But it's amazing what you can do in a short space of time if you really just say, right, I'm actually going to change this. If you want help with all of this, guys, the links are in the description, right? I put bio there, that's wrong. The links are in the description. You can go and check out those links. If you're going to do this on your own, you have to get serious. You have to be even more serious than if you were to do it with myself, because at least you'd have someone accountable, right? If you want to go and try and do this and apply everything that we've covered in this video now on your own for the rest of 2026, I am in your corner, right? I want you to message me. I want you to tell me that you're on this journey and you're trying to apply it. I'm going to guide you through it. I'm going to try and help as much as I can, right? If you want everything just sorting out, if you want everything aligning, links in the description. You can apply to work with me one-to-one. Go and kill the rest of 2026, guys.